I don't want to break the bank, and neither do you. Hence today we'll be looking at 12 of my favorite watches in 2024 that cost under 50 bucks. First up is the Cadisen C8234, and this is a $45 watch. Stainless steel dress watch that goes for the premium touches but without the premium price tag. Let's touch on the biggest surprises. Firstly, the glass covering the magnificent deep blue sunburst dial is sapphire crystal, a flat slab of it, a hairline above the fixed polished bevel. We also have a stainless steel case, which is predominantly polished to a high gloss, x the brushed lug hoods. And these are interestingly designed here as well. Just look at them, they're sort of protruding from the case. And this does add a rugged touch to the smart and business look of this watch. It's powered by a self-winding automatic, the NH35. We also get a date complication for that everyday practicality. In regards to the dimensions, we get a diameter of 41mm, a lug-to-lug length of 48mm because it is sitting on a leather strap. The height here is 11mm and a lug width of 22, tapering down to 20 at the clasp. So for 45 bucks, we get ourselves 50 meters water resistance, we get an exhibition case back, and we get an automatic watch. This is definitely a bargain watch. Two will go to a Quartz GMT watch for $40, and it is the Addiesdive AD2036. I could play the pretentious game and call out the fact that it is powered by a Swiss movement, yet it's just the Ronda 515 and there's nothing too flash about it. Still, the heritage is solid enough. The stainless steel piece has been sold tens of thousands of times in the last 2 years. It has been presented on AliExpress, but the value we receive is undeniable even today. In regards to the dimensions, we get a diameter of 40mm, a lug-to-lug length of 47.2, a height of 12.3, and a lug width of 20mm, tapering down to 16 at the clasp. It sits very snugly on my 6.5-inch wrist. The inspiration of the watch is clear as day with the distinctive hand tips, wide-set lugs, ensuring assertive setup of the watch. The 24-hour steel bezel is brushed while the outer edge is polished. Most of the case is brushed actually, but the bevel between the flanks and the lug hoods is also polished, adding light play and reflections. This GMT is a sport watch after all, so 200 meters of water resistance are warranted by a signed screw-in crown and a screw-down case back. The only relative shortcut on the piece is a mineral boxed crystal, yet it's offset by a luxurious stainless steel bracelet with decent tolerances and good link fluidity. The clasp is signed, gets 5 micro adjustments and a milled wing. For 40 bucks, quite remarkable value here. For number 3, let's take a look at the RDUNAE RA03 military piece. From the chic and utilitarian steel cylinder storage box, the sandblasted steel case, and to the tall single dome crystal. It shouts vintage styling, yet the refinement and elegant framing of the 34.5mm case is stylish, and ergonomically it's just right. This piece is actually powered by Miyota 2035 quartz movement, and it provides 4 years of battery life. The mineral crystal is K1 grade, meaning that it's a hybrid of sapphire and mineral crystal. So it's more scratch resistant than plain mineral, yet cheaper than sapphire. This watch set me back $42. Let's talk about the dimensions. We get a diameter of 34.5mm, a lug-to-lug length of 42.5, a height of 10.2, and a lug width of 18mm. The weight here is 36 grams. If you're into nostalgic timepieces that have an air of that retro stigma, this is the watch to get. The nylon strap gets a pin buckle. I was worried to see fixed lug bars, but thankfully we get spring bars, so the options for straps are endless. The arch of the flank is graceful, it's quite thin and elegant, the lugs fall off gently to follow your wrist shape. The matte black dial features a printed 24-hour clock and beige hands. By the way, this is a seriously domed crystal. We do get a screw-down case back and a push-pull crown. So for $42, we really get a field watch which is heavily vintage or retro inspired. Take a look at a super budget $45 field watch by Tandorio. Standout features include sapphire crystal covering a vast array of dial options, from radially fading blue, gray, red, green, and even caramel browns. Personally, I've ordered in the blue and you can see why. It's just so Interesting. It fades to black at the rehaut. Astounding pricing really, considering it's a fully stainless steel construction. Screw and crown and screw down case back as a given on the Tandorio watch. Also powered by Seiko NH35 with the 24 joules and 42 hours of power reserve. The watch is also 200 meters water resistant. We have the green Welly Merck, once more an original design that is breathtakingly original. Considering a $55 price point, it's almost unbelievable that we get so much for so little. It gets a Seiko NH35 automatic movement, features a textured coarse and grainy dial with orange highlights on the rehaut and the seconds pointer. The dial actually fades to a darker shade at the rehaut, making a more focused and balanced playing field. The date complication, sapphire crystal, and a 316L stainless steel case and bracelet make for a unique and robust daily wearer watch. The chili blue luminosity is strong and long-lasting and actually looks great against the green backdrop of the watch. With regards to the dimensions, we get a diameter of 42mm, a lug-to-lug length of 51mm, a height of 12.5, a lug width of 20mm at the lugs and tapering down to 18 at the clasp. The weight here is 165 grams. This Merck gets an exhibition case back, 200 meters of water resistance, warranted by a screw and crown, and a helium escape valve. So for $55, this is definitely a lot of value. I'll raise some eyebrows with a watch for $30. There is no crystal on this watch. You can literally poke your fingers at the hands. No hands really. It's ball bearings instead of hands. Very interesting indeed. The ball bearings find their place by the magnetic pull. The AD2036 is a quartz beta with an appeal to your innovative, or rather the creative side. There is no seconds hand here, just hours and minutes. Hours on the outer perimeter and minutes on the inner ring. For the $30, we do have to live with an alloy case and a plastic push-pull crown. But then you don't see a watch like this every day. Addiesdive AD2054, and it is a thought follower from the MYH3, a $35 bombshell following a subby-inspired look with a typical wide stance, brushed surfaces mixed in with the polished tall flanks. For $35 we get a 3-link brushed 316L stainless steel bracelet. The case is also solid stainless steel. Considering a screw and crown and the screw down case back, the timepiece features 200 meters of water resistance. The crystal is mineral glass with a mineral glass cyclops over the date window at 3 o'clock. The magnification is about ×2, not the standard setting 2.5 times. But the mineral crystal is actually coated with blue anti-reflective film. With regards to the dimensions, we get a diameter of 40.8mm, a lug-to-lug length of 53.1mm due to the protruding male end links. We get a height of 13mm without the cyclops, 14.5 with it. We get a lug width of 20mm, tapering down to 18mm at the clasp, and a weight of 165 grams. Once again, $35 for this piece is unbelievable value. This is an Addiesdive, hence luminosity is usually better than on the renders, and powered by a quartz, specifically the Miyota 2115. The bracelet is held by push pins, tolerances are decent, not San Martin quality, but then it does cost at least 5 times cheaper than any San Martin. Link articulation and fluidity aren't compromised, so really good here. The double pusher clasp gets 3 micro adjustments and a pressed wing. Following the gaze down the inverted and deep rehaut, we face a matte blue dial, perfectly matching the matte blue of the ceramic bezel insert. The beige indices provide plenty of contrast. I love the simplicity and well-balanced dial. With regards to the lume, it really doesn't match the super low price. Bright green light lasts for hours, so easily for the full night. Bezel action is muted, but surprisingly quite accurate with minimal backplay. A really budget Grand Seiko homage. It's just too good. For $50 we are getting so much of a dress watch, so much of a sport watch, and so much of just classic chic design. Let me tell you about this watch. The first bonus on this watch is a boxed sapphire crystal. It's prominent and tall, not vintage, just tall enough to be considered classy. The crystal quality is very good, there are hardly any edge distortions. The mix of brushed and polished surfaces creates joyful light play, not overwhelming and blingy, but interesting and captivating. Of course, we get a screw-in crown, medium size with fine notchy threading. The screw-down case back gets a fluted decoration, and I love it. This watch is all about classic looks. A fully stainless steel construction, including a 3-link brush bracelet. The end links are inverted, the clasp is signed, and even gets 5 micro adjustments. The folding wing is also milled. The dimensions require specific mentioning. We get a diameter of 37mm, a lug-to-lug length of just 46mm, a height of 11.2, a lug width of 19mm at the head, and tapering down to 16 at the clasp. The weight on this piece is 130 grams, without removing any links to fit my 6.5-inch wrist. The watch overall is very sturdy, yet the elegance is undeniable. The yellow hue of the dial is radiating class we often lose out on with many micro brands doing too much of the overwhelming extras. The piece is also powered by Seiko's VH31, a sweeping seconds hand, pulsing at 4 beats per second, hence mimicking the automatic sweep of the seconds hand. This watch is great, and it's not just the value that I love here, although that as well, but it's the looks and the features that we get here is just unbelievable. Let me tell you about it. The watch case gets a completely brushed look. The somber and strict styling with perfect symmetry is a look of vintage asceticism. The 7.4mm diameter crown makes rotation easy but almost unnecessary considering the accuracy of the NH35 self-winding automatic movement. If you've been watching the WesWatches channel, you'll know I have a soft spot for California dials. We get just that under a domed sapphire crystal, not boxed, just heavily single-domed to give some weirdly awesome distortions when looking from the side. Having a case width of 38mm and a lug-to-lug length of 49mm, I love the way it sits on my 6.5-inch wrist. The standard rubber strap is robust and comfortable, potentially replacing it is an option. But I do shower with the watch on the wrist occasionally, hence the rubber strap suits my lifestyle. We do get 200 meters of water resistance with this Tandorio, so that is warranted by the screw-in crown as well as a screwed case back. And the lume on here lasts the night easily. The best $45 I've ever spent, really. A watch that has always surprised me with the complex homages it's been doing. So this is the Guanqin. And they were really trying to accommodate the connoisseurs on a budget with this homage. This is a moon phase calendar automatic for some $50. It's a homage that caters to those looking for a more complex design, featuring a fully stainless steel construction, sapphire crystal, day, date and year calendar complications, as well as the moon phases displayed at 6 o'clock. With regards to water resistance, not amazing, just 3 ATM, but this is more of a dress watch. We also get an exhibition case back, giving a glimpse of the engine room. Most prominent is the decorated gold-tone rotor. With regards to the dimensions, we get a diameter of 41mm, a lug-to-lug length of 47.4mm, a height of 13.7, and a lug width of 20mm. A contained lug-to-lug length is due to the inverted end links, and that means that wrists of 6 inches and over can really enjoy this watch. Guanqin features a stainless steel 2-link bracelet, fitted with push pins and a signed butterfly clasp. Now, there are no half links here, but really, with the complications we discussed and the overall look here, for $50, this is a sharp price. And this is another brand new model for 2024, the PD1780. This hybrid quartz VH88 watch is original in its design, dial patterns and superb refinement. And it costs just $50. It's a stainless steel case with a domed sapphire crystal covering the magnificent checkered pattern dial. You'll notice the 3 sub-dials, and these are all day-date related. So basically this is a calendar sub-dial watch. Another intriguing detail is the integrated crown, which is narrow but a diameter of 9mm and notchy threading make time adjustment a breeze. With regards to the dimensions, we get a diameter of 40mm, a lug-to-lug length of 48mm, a height of 11.7, and a lug width of 20mm. The rubber strap is pleasant, and considering it's the quick release type, it's also convenient for quick swap outs. I actually really like the fact that the clasp is signed with Pagani Design brand. I think that's a very special touch on such a budgetly priced piece. So $50 right here. So this is the cheapest watch in this collection. $10. That's all I paid for this. You can get this in two sizes. A female, so like a lady's smaller watch, or this larger watch, but I don't think it's just male or female. I think this design is more unisex, but it fits. You can see how it looks on my wrist. It looks just fine. The dimensions on this piece get a case width of 27.5mm and a case length of 35mm, so 35 by 27.5, and that seems to be a really good fit. The lug-to-lug length here is 38mm, a height of just 7mm, and a lug width of 20mm. We do get mineral crystal, but really, did we expect anything else for $10? The bracelet is stainless steel, yet the polished case is alloy. On the ivory dial, we get Roman numerals and just two dark blue hour and minute hands. So much in line with the design it's paying tribute to. No central seconds on here. The miniature push-pull crown is decorated with the blue pip, a tribute to the original of this homage design. If we talk about the bracelet, I was expecting something way worse, but it's decent, it's okay, so kudos to Sanda for using a two-link setup. Polished and brushed surfaces make for a clean and okay look. Overall, for $10, a possible entry point into the horology hobby world. All of the listings we've covered off today will be in the description below the video. Do check them out if you're after some sharp prices. Now, all of the links here, they are affiliate links, meaning that if you do make a qualified purchase, I will be getting some kickback from AliExpress. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me get commission in so I can buy more watches and review them for you guys. Anyways, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.